Now, Pokemon announcing the Paldean version of Wooper right after we covered the Wooper episode of the anime was unfortunately purely a coincidence. However, one thing that's not a coincidence is that we have yet another episode of the Pokemon Johto Journeys anime that's gonna be full of WTF moments. So starting things off, I know you're all sick of it by now, so I'm gonna stop giving the narrator shit for saying that Ash and friends are on their journey to Johto even though they're already in Johto. It happens all the time now, so I can't really call it a WTF moment, can I? But I will point out this direct quote from him though.
But it comes as no surprise that an imposing obstacle lies ahead.
Because I just love that now even the narrator is like, yep, something's slowing them down again. Are Pokemon finally becoming self-aware? Took them long enough. Brock says they can take a shortcut through Onyx Tunnel. And Misty and Ash, ever the pair of distinguished intellectuals, ask him why it's called Onyx Tunnel. And lo and behold, it's a cave where a lot of Onyx are supposed to live. Mate, how is it even possible that those two couldn't work that out? I know they're both supposed to be dumb at times, but this dumb? Really? Maybe before asking questions like this, these two should just give themselves a couple of extra seconds to think. Ash and Misty, use your noodles. Here's a direct quote from Ash.
Onyx ought to be pretty weak against water-type Pokemon. I know we can count on good old Squirtle. That is, if I still had good old Squirtle.
Mate, imagine forgetting you gave your Squirtle away 2 episodes ago, no less. Maybe you should start putting more thought into these important decisions before you make them. You know, like when you gave away your overpowered Charizard. Misty tells Ash that she has plenty of other water Pokemon that can do the job. Why is she lying though? She's got bugger all. She's got a Psyduck that's useless unless it has a headache. She's got a Goldeen that's specifically only competent when it's in a body of water. And she's got Staryu, who granted is alright, but other than that... Oh wait, she's got my boy! You know what? I take it back. Misty's more than equipped to take on even a horde of Onyx. Brock says it's getting too dark to go into the tunnel and they should leave it until tomorrow. Brock, what are you on about? It's a cave. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. It's gonna be dark in there regardless. Oh wow, not just a Jigglypuff sighting, but Snubbull too. And surprisingly, they're not just here for filler for once. They're actually gonna be major parts of the episode. What the fuck? After Meowth complains about having to go through the Onyx Tunnel, Jessie sets him straight. She explains that if they don't go through the tunnel, who knows how long it'll take them to cross the mountain. Am I missing something here? Don't these three have a hot air balloon? Why not just use that? Like, surely if going through the tunnel is such a worry for them, taking their balloon would be way quicker, even if they did have to go around the mountain. They're basically making a mountain out of a molehill here. Well, technically out of a mountain, but you know what I mean. Victory Bell's Razor Leaf is completely ineffective against these 3 Onyx. Mate, what kind of Pokemon anime writers don't even know their own type matchups bullshit is this? Grass-type moves are 4 times effective against Onyx, and Razor Leaf has an increased critical hit ratio. Victory Bell should have mowed this lot down easily. Pun intended. The Onyx bang their heads about and cause a load of rocks to fall on Team Rocket. According to James, this is them using Rock Throw. But wait, they're not throwing anything, are they? Surely this is Rock Slide. You know, because they're basically causing rocks to fall from wherever they were. Please somebody agree with me. And real quick, let's take a moment to thank our wonderful Ace Trainer Ultra XLs who are Bro Metapod, Andros LaFay, and Gear Overlord. Thank you guys for supporting the channel as much as you do. It means the absolute world to me. Back to the episode, Team Rocket decide they need a water Pokemon, and Jessie points out that Misty has plenty of water Pokemon. I'm still not convinced that 2 competent, 1 competent in the right situation, and 1 brain dead really counts as plenty, but okay. And would you believe which one is the first one she thinks of? It's my boy! Mate, she's been dealing with Staryu and Goldeen for years, but thinks of Poliwag first? Jessie clearly knows what true greatness is. Pass it on. Brock asks Pineco if it's ready to have some fun, and it self-destructs in his face. Apparently Pineco's idea of a good time is knocking itself out. Should we be worried about Pineco's self-destructive behavior? Like I'm one to talk. Ash spots Snubbull sniffing along the ground and asks Brock and Misty if its ribbons look familiar. And of course, Brock and Misty instantly recognize it as the rich lady Snubbull from yonks ago. Mate, how can you lot be so certain? Like, I know Madam Much Money is wealthy, Jessie, but I'm pretty sure she's not the only Pokemon trainer in the world who can afford ribbons.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find this is Madam Much Money Snubbull, though.
No, I know it is, but that's not my point. I'm just saying they shouldn't be so quick to jump to conclusions. Like, as far as these guys are aware, this could just be any old Snubbull whose trainer happens to like giving their Pokemon ribbons to wear. Jigglypuff then turns up and puts everyone to sleep, including Snubbull, who almost gets to chomp down on Meowth's tail but falls asleep just before it can reach it. In the next scene, we see Snubbull wake up and wait. Team Rocket are nowhere to be found. Hang on, wait. Hold on for a second. You're telling me that Team Rocket woke up after being put to sleep by Jigglypuff, right next to Snubbull, mind you, who was clearly still fast asleep. And I'm supposed to believe they just, what, didn't see it? It was right behind Meowth. They couldn't have missed it if they'd tried. And if they did see it, why didn't they steal it? It's not like Ash and friends knew they were there, so it's not like they would have been caught. Did Team Rocket really pass up an opportunity to hold a rich woman's Snubbull ransom? Team Rocket really are garbage criminals. Pass it on. Snubbull then stumbles across Jigglypuff, giving a wild Pidgey a facial. Luckily, this is the Pokemon anime and not DeviantArt, or that sentence would have meant something very different. Snubbull then steals Jigglypuff's microphone marker. Mate, it has one nap with Team Rocket and all of a sudden Snubbull's a petty thief? Who knew Team Rocket could be so influential? I guess this is what happens when a Pokemon has such a sheltered upbringing. When trying to explain what happened to Ash and friends, Jigglypuff tries to mimic Snubbull, and Misty says,
"That's a weird face."
And I know she means that Jigglypuff's contorting its face weirdly, but even so, when I first heard Misty say that line, I thought she was just being mean to an already fragile Pokemon. I mean, can you blame me? This is Misty we're talking about. She's absolutely the kind of person that would outright insult an already emotional wreck. Ash says they should help Jigglypuff find its microphone, but I've got a better idea. Why don't you catch Jigglypuff? You know, maybe strike up a deal. You help it find its microphone, it joins your team. I mean, it's been following you around for years now, so you might as well. Jessie tells James and Meowth she wants to use their tried and tested pitfall plan, but this time she's going to dig the hole with a shovel that doubles as a pogo stick. Now, let's ignore the fact that this is a really inefficient way to dig a hole, let alone quickly. More importantly, if she slips using that thing, she's absolutely losing a foot. Hey Pokemon, you got anything to say about this scene? Let me explain. Snubbull bites onto Meowth's tail, and Jessie picks up Snubbull, and Snubbull eventually lets go of Meowth. And of course, Meowth falls to the ground in front of Jessie. Now, in the next shot where Meowth's talking about his tail, they don't show a shot of just Meowth. They, for some reason, chose to include the right side of Jessie's body in the foreground. Think about it for a moment. When they were planning this scene, Pokemon thought, so yeah, Meowth holding his tail and making a pun, but something's missing.
Maybe we should include the side of Jessie's midriff and hips in there. A little bit of thigh. That'd be perfect.
Pokemon, you need to go to horny jail, mate. Although saying that, it is a lovely excuse for all of our members to use ATL bonk in the comments. After deciding that Snubbull would be a perfect gift for the boss, Jessie starts going on about how Misty's only popular because people see her hugging Togepi, and that Jessie will be more popular than Misty when people see her cuddling Snubbull. Mate, I thought you just said you were sending it to the boss. If you do that, no one's gonna see you cuddling it. You really need to figure out what you want to do, mate. You're all over the place. Here's something that's easy to figure out. Code ACE will save you money on G Fuel, so you might as well bloody use it. Today I'm drinking the wonderful Sage Mode, which is pomelo, orange, and white peach. It's absolutely lovely. It's inspired by Naruto. I don't know a lot about Naruto, but I know a lot about Sage Mode. It tastes bloody awesome. Oh, that is absolutely cracking. Go and get yourself some Sage Mode or any of the wonderful flavors of G Fuel. Use code ACE when you do, and it supports this channel and saves you 10% off your order. Thank you very much for everyone that uses code ACE. Remember though, G Fuel is for over 18s only because it contains caffeine, and children don't need to be anywhere near caffeine. You've met them, they're annoying enough as it is, and because it contains caffeine, drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead, dickhead. Meowth kicks up a stink and demands that either Team Rocket get rid of Snubbull or he'll leave. And Team Rocket choose Snubbull, much to Meowth's surprise. The bit I don't get is, Jessie literally just said that with Meowth around, Snubbull will never run away. So what's your plan for keeping Snubbull around with Meowth gone? Like, if Snubbull's only gonna follow Meowth around, don't you kinda need to keep Meowth around too? Mate, I know Team Rocket are dumb, but come on. Brock says the fruit baskets laying on top of the pit traps dug by Team Rocket seem vaguely familiar. I don't know why though, he's never fallen in one.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find that Brock's fallen in plenty of holes dug smug by Team Rocket.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Brock's never been baited into it with a fruit basket before. Also, here's a direct quote from Ash.
Well, maybe it is another trap, Misty, but at least we'll get a meal out of it.
Huh. A man of culture, I see. As it turns out, Ash Ketchum is my spirit animal. Who knew? Jigglypuff runs from pitfall to pitfall, falling in each time and being rescued by Ash's Bulbasaur. Mate, you'd think after the first two it would have learned. Just how hungry is this thing? Hungry enough to be an absolute numpty, obviously. Direct quote from Ash.
Calm down, Jigglypuff.
Bravo, mate. Bravo. That has got to be the absolute best thing you could say to bring an agitated person away from their boiling point. Meowth realizes that Team Rocket need him. Not for his ability to translate Pokemon into English, or his cunning, or even his limited battling ability. Apparently they need him so that he can jump up at the end of the motto and shout,
Meowth, that's right.
Christ, mate, talk about knowing your worth. Here's a direct quote from Meowth.
I can't get nowhere without going through that tunnel, but I'm afraid to go past all of them Onix.
Mate, you're literally on a planet which has lots of land. You don't have to go through that tunnel to get anywhere. You could just go back the way you came. Think about it. How many times have you been through that tunnel in your life so far? That's right, none. There are other places you can go, mate. Meowth asks Jigglypuff what its dream is, and whilst explaining that its dream is for an audience to hear its song in full, technically, Jigglypuff sings its song. So why doesn't Meowth fall asleep? Answers on a postcard. After Snubbull turns up, Jigglypuff tries to take back its microphone, but apparently Snubbull has an iron grip. Mate, how? It doesn't even have fingers. Its paws are basically just triangular ends to its arms. It effectively just has fins. Come to think of it, Jigglypuff has the same kind of arms. So how the hell do either of them have this kind of grip strength? After taking an errant slap, Meowth clouts Snubbull. Clearly Meowth's mother never taught him not to hit a lady.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find that all Pokemon use attacks on opponents of different genders if their trainers tell them to.
Okay, 1, r/whoosh. 2, technically his trainer didn't tell him to attack Snubbull. And 3, why didn't you go with the more obvious rebuttal? Meowth grew up on the streets. He didn't have a mother. It was right there. Hey look, it's the first time Wobbuffet actually joined in on the Team Rocket motto. You know, for those who care about that sort of thing. As Misty goes to battle Jessie's Arbok, Psyduck sends itself out. Understandably, she's annoyed by this. So she promptly returns Psyduck to its Pokeball and sends out her intended Pokemon, which of course is my boy. Great choice, Misty. Could not have chosen better. Misty wins this episode, lads. Let's go home. James sends out Victreebel, a grass and poison type, to team up with Arbok, a poison type. So what Pokemon does Ash send out in response? Chikorita, a grass type Pokemon that's weak to poison. Because of course he does. Mate, you know you have Cyndaquil, an actual fire type, right? Hell, even Bulbasaur would have been a better choice than this. Direct quote from James. Get that Poliwag with Razor Leaf. James, mate, Razor Leaf's a spread move. You don't have to be so specific. It's gonna hit both your opponents, and that includes Poliwag. I will say though, it's a nice change of pace to be telling someone they can't direct a spread move at a specific single Pokemon in a double battle. Usually I have to moan at them for using single target moves on multiple Pokemon, so thanks for this, James. After Chikorita and Poliwag batter Victreebel and Arbok, ignoring the fact that Chikorita used exclusively 4 times resisted moves on Victreebel, we get this direct quote from Jessie.
Those little twerps must have been practicing. They're not bad.
Honestly, I don't think that's the issue here, Jessie. I doubt they've even been practicing. I think it's more likely that you guys haven't done any training with your Pokemon at all. Misty tells Poliwag to use Water Gun at full power. Well, that's just what you want to hear, isn't it? Cat's out of the bag now. Apparently, Poliwag has not been using Water Gun at full power up to this point. Come on, Poliwag, try harder, mate. You're my boy. And it manages to hit all 3 of Team Rocket's Pokemon with Water Gun at the same time. Oh, spoke too soon, didn't I? Come on, Poliwag. Single target move on multiple opponents? Really? Misty is a hacker. Confirmed. I know this is a long overdue question, but this episode has really hammered it home. That microphone is just a marker pen, right? And we saw earlier that when Jigglypuff sings unamplified, it couldn't even put Meowth to sleep. So my question is, how does a simple marker pen amplify Jigglypuff's song? You know, to the point where it can put everything in a 400-meter radius to sleep. And how does it add that echo effect? Sharpies can't do that. And here's something you've probably never given some thought. Why do Onix have white eyelids? You'd think they'd be made of stone like the rest of their bodies. Jigglypuff puts the Onix to sleep, and the next morning as Ash and friends walk through the tunnel, Ash worries about the Onix bothering them. Brock reassures Ash that the Onix will leave them alone if they leave the Onix alone too. I mean, Here's another idea. Why doesn't Brock just send out his own Onix if the other Onix approach them? Surely Onix would speak fluent Onix, you know, and maybe it could talk the others down? Oh, thank God for that. The narrator said they're continuing their Johto League journey. He's finally figured out what's going on, so we won't have to take him out back like old Yeller after all. Now, the ending slapstick gag with Team Rocket waking up the Onix is fine, but what I liked more was Jessie saying she'll be delighted when they get out of this tunnel, and James responding, "I wonder if that's where they got that old saying about delight at the end of the tunnel." Congratulations, Pokemon. You've managed to slip an absolute banger in right at the very end. So those are my WTF moments of Pokemon Season 3, Episode 33, Tunnel Vision. Let me know your favorites and any that I missed down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click the join button and become a member. Tune into my live streams on this very YouTube channel. You can check the live streams playlist if you've missed any out, and use code ACE for money off G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.